Must. Oh.
So let's just keep trucking with life, man, because there's nothing we can do about it.
The video starts inside a camping tent, showing a camper asleep in the middle of a quiet night. Everything seems peaceful until he suddenly wakes up. As he becomes alert, a large dark shadow appears just outside the tent. The figure slowly moves closer, looking far too big to be a normal forest animal, while the camper watches in complete shock.
Oh, no way. I'm definitely sleeping in the car tonight.
As the shadow gets closer, it becomes clear that it's a mountain lion standing just outside the tent. The camper stays completely still as the animal paces around the campsite, making the situation even more terrifying. Before anything else happens, the video suddenly cuts off, leaving no clue about whether the camper escaped safely or what happened next. To this day, no one knows if the footage showed a real encounter or was simply staged. The video was uploaded by an anonymous account and has left many viewers disturbed. It begins with a group of friends exploring the forest at night, using only their flashlights to light the way. What starts as a fun adventure soon takes a creepy turn when they begin hearing strange sounds that don't seem to belong in the quiet woods. Suddenly, a voice cries out, "Help me!" from somewhere in the forest, sending the group into panic. Moments later, more screams follow, but instead of sounding like someone in danger, they turn into strange, unrecognizable noises that leave everyone confused and frightened. Unable to figure out where the sounds are coming from, the friends grow even more terrified. Just as the tension reaches its highest point, the video suddenly cuts off, leaving what happened next completely unknown. On Halloween night in 2022, Rick heads out alone to camp in a remote wooded area near his home, a place locals have long linked to strange activity. The night starts quietly as he films around an old abandoned church hidden among the trees. While recording the area, something suddenly catches his attention.
Bye, church. The hell is that? Hang on. Did you see that? Or was that just me? There's my gimbal. I left my gimbal there. Swear there was someone standing there. There was someone standing right here. I swear to God, there was someone standing right here.
While filming, Rick notices a figure standing near a fence, partly hidden and close to his camera. The sight leaves him uneasy, so he packs up and returns to his van. After reviewing the footage, he confirms the figure is clearly visible. Even so, he tries to convince himself it was just a shadow, a trick of the light, or someone passing by. Hoping the rest of the night will be uneventful, he settles down to sleep. But around 1 a.m., he is suddenly jolted awake.
What is it? 1 o'clock in the morning, and I swear blind, I just got woken up by someone trying the van door handles. Right, there was a knock. There was definitely a knock. Someone was trying the van door handles as well. I'm going to turn the lights out. Someone was trying the van door handles. Okay. I heard a car pull up. There's definitely a car pulled up outside. I'm going to have a look. Well, that was weird. I opened the van doors and then within a minute there was a car reversing up and it's just driven off. So it's all quiet out there now, so I'm just going to try and get myself back to sleep.
When the car finally drives away after seemingly realizing someone is inside the van, Rick hopes the unsettling encounter is over, but the night is far from finished.
It's happening again. I can't believe this. Let me turn the lights on. I've heard that car come back at its spot. 2:45 now. That van's come back, well, that car's come back. That 4x4 vehicle. I can't hear anyone. I can't hear anyone talking outside. There we go. There we go. Right. Literally haven't slept. I am going home. They've driven off again. I didn't even look out. I just peered through my curtains that I've got up. Through the curtains there, I can see outside, and it's driven off again. I don't know if this is anywhere I shouldn't be parked, but I'm going. I'm not staying here anymore.
By then, Rick realizes the situation doesn't feel like a coincidence anymore. Trusting his instincts, he decides to leave without waiting to find out who was outside or what they wanted. As he drives away, he becomes convinced it wasn't anything paranormal, but another person watching him in the dark. He never learns why they were there or what their intentions were, but leaving immediately keeps him safe. Although shaken by the experience, he escapes without harm from a situation that could have turned much worse. On February 26, 2024, Carl from the Welcome to the Woods UK channel headed into the forest for another solo camping trip. Everything starts calm and peaceful as he sets up his tent, cooks himself a warm meal, and places trail cameras around the campsite while there's still daylight. It feels like a normal camping adventure with nothing out of the ordinary at first. As night falls, Carl leaves his campsite to explore the surrounding woods, unaware that the peaceful evening is about to turn into something unsettling.
If you can hear it, I didn't see anything, but I could hear like wood splitting, like as in like someone chopping wood, like with an axe or something. I'm not entirely sure what that would have been. That was it. Right, okay. I don't think...
While walking through the forest, Carl hears something that immediately feels wrong and unnatural. His heart starts racing, so he heads back to camp, hoping the uneasy feeling will disappear. As heavy rain begins to fall, he gets into his tent just in time and tries to distract himself by watching a show on his phone, convincing himself it was only the usual sounds of the woods. For a while, it seems to work.
Someone's doing fireworks. These OEX tents are pretty good. I've never had any water come through any one of them that I've got. Every one I've owned also has been very easy to put up. I'm off to bed now. I shall see you in the morning.
The woods eventually go quiet again, and Carl settles into his tent, hoping to finally get some sleep. But before long, the strange noises return, this time much closer than before. He stays completely still, listening as the unsettling sounds grow louder.
I've not got a clue what that noise was. There's about 8 different noises, sound like someone was walking around about 40 yards away. I had no bang off of the alarm, but definitely a banging in the wood.
Carl waits for nearly 20 minutes until the noises finally stop and the forest falls silent again. By morning, he's left shaken and confused, wondering why someone had been walking around his tent from a short distance away. With those questions still on his mind, he packs up his campsite and leaves the forest, relieved that he made it out safely. After a long night of fishing, 2 men pack up their gear and get back into their car, tired and ready to head home. The forest is dark, lit only by their headlights, and everything seems quiet and peaceful at first. But that calm atmosphere suddenly changes when something unexpected happens. Without warning, a loud, piercing screech echoes through the forest. The sound seems to come from every direction, making it impossible to tell where it's coming from. Neither man recognizes it as an animal, a person, or any kind of machine. They stay inside the car, too uneasy to step out, while the strange noise fades and returns through the trees. Nothing ever appears in the headlights, and to this day, they still have no idea what made that unsettling sound. Two friends, Zach and Aaron, are camping deep in a forest known for the old legend of the Banshee, a spirit from Irish folklore said to warn of death with eerie screams, cries, or whispers. One night, while they sit around their campsite talking, the forest is completely quiet with no wind or wildlife. Then, without any warning, a strange sound suddenly breaks the silence.
It's not a job anymore, it's a way of life. So let's just keep trucking with life, man, because there's nothing we can do about it.
What?
So let's just keep trucking with life, man, because there's nothing we can do about it.
What?
The sound doesn't resemble any animal they know. Instead, it sounds like a woman's voice quietly saying no, and it seems to come from just beyond the reach of their headlamps. Both friends immediately fall silent and search the darkness, but they find nothing. With no footsteps or movement, they begin to wonder if they had heard the Banshee that the forest is rumored to be haunted by. While there could be natural explanations, like an animal or the wind, it's the eerie silence that follows that stays with them long after the night ends. The footage was recorded during a nighttime investigation at a place known as the Haunted Hunter Camp. While exploring the area, the team suddenly captures a strange sound unlike anything they had ever heard in those woods before.
Whoa. That was a scream.
Yeah, that was a human scream right there.
As they continue exploring, a loud, piercing scream suddenly echoes through the darkness. The investigators say it sounds unlike anything they had heard before, even after years of exploring remote locations. At the time, they considered the possibility that it could have come from people living deep in the wilderness, though they couldn't be certain. After the video was shared, viewers offered different explanations. Some believed it was an animal capable of making human-like screams, while others thought it could have been Sasquatch. No source was ever found, no animal was seen, and no similar sounds were reported afterward, leaving the scream unexplained. The camper decides to spend the night in America's most haunted forest. After a quick search, he chooses Freetown State Forest in Massachusetts, a place known for countless creepy stories and unsettling legends.
Most of the things this forest is known for, I can't even say, like, publicly, or, like, this just can't be talked about.
After an early morning flight, he and his friend arrive in Boston. Coming from the intense heat of Texas, the cool Massachusetts weather is a big change and only the first surprise waiting for them.
It's cold, it's 60 degrees and I'm freezing. I'm used to it being 110 degrees in Texas. 60 degrees is like being on ice. We are in good old Boston, Massachusetts, home of in here. Although whenever I walked up to the front desk, I decided to ask like if they had heard anything about the forest, and this is the answer I got.
But that's pretty much, they just say people disappear.
People disappear in there. Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of girls in there somewhere.
Oh, wow, okay. So, she kind of just lightly said that. She kind of just lightly goes, there might just be dead bodies in there that haven't been found. No! That's not the type of video we're trying to film. Someone already made that mistake, and it's not gonna be us.
Setting up camp was a challenge because camping wasn't allowed, so they had to sneak in. They also decided to leave the top of the tent open, but soon realized that meant anyone or anything could easily look inside.
I think we're gonna leave the top of the tent off, which is kind of terrifying because you can see through it. So imagine you're just laying down at night and then someone is just standing there.
Oh my God.
You make direct eye contact,
That's
right? You're not
terrifying.
hiding from that. So I really just want to zip this thing up because it's, I don't know why I'm normally not like super scared, but like all the paranormal stuff and that will freak me out.
Yeah, that gets to me too.
Yeah. Hopefully that sends a signal not to mess with us. All right.
Not long after, things start getting strange when something touches one of them through the side of the tent. They quickly look around, but there's nothing there.
Oh my God, did you just, did something just touch me? Like, shine the light that way, shine the actual big light that way.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
Maybe it was just like the tent rubbing up my back. No, dude, that's not what that was. There's no way.
The way you're straddling me, I know you're scared of me.
Look at my hands. I don't know if it's probably like the fact that we're out here and that's like tripping me out, but I swear when I turned right there, something like through the tent just like touched my back.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
There's no way. I like that's the only thing like keeping me okay right now. There's no way that's absolutely possible. Unless there's someone behind me right now and they're just listening to me talk about this. That's the only way that would be possible.
Just when they think things can't get any creepier, they hear a vehicle driving through the forest before it suddenly comes to a stop. Everything goes completely silent, making the moment even more unsettling. In a forest surrounded by paranormal legends, that sudden silence feels anything but normal.
But you're really close.
It sounds like it's driving on the state park road, like through the park. Because there's not a road that close to us. That sounded like it was driving on the actual, like, dirt road through the state park.
It just stopped.
Are we just, yeah, it did just stop out of nowhere, it just stopped. Are we just freaking ourselves out? We're tripping out right now. We've heard a few things. One that I thought was a scream, but I'm now thinking it's a fox.
With the cold and everything that had happened, they couldn't wait for sunrise. After leaving the forest, they spent hours at a Starbucks going through the footage, trying to understand what they had experienced. Whether people believed them or not, they were just glad they made it out safely. In April 2023, a hiker entered a narrow, uncharted cave, unaware of the dangers waiting deeper inside.
Dang. That's wild, man.
And that's actually kind of crazy that the can is right there. So.
The spray paint can. Oh my gosh. There's a little passage here. And it looks like it goes. I think I'm getting stuck.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean.
Yeah. Dude, I'm like stuck. This is a bad idea.
While squeezing through the tight passages, his helmet and one of his arms become stuck, leaving him trapped and causing him to panic.
I feel like at this point, you can't pull me out. It's so sharp. I feel like I gotta keep going and maybe I can turn around in here. All right, my helmet's stuck. Completely stuck. Oh. Oh man, my arm was like pinned under me. Oh, this was a bad idea. This is a really bad idea. Okay, I got my arm out.
After struggling for several moments, he eventually breaks free. But before he can relax, he comes across another obstacle, a tight section of the cave filled with cold water.
Oh, that's not looking good.
Oh, dude, did it get small?
Yeah, like really, really small. Oh, that water's freezing, man.
Oh, that's not good. Dude, there's no way. I'm pushing it. I'm like down in the water. No. Actually, if we move this rock out of the way, it looks like it does. I just squeezed past this rock that was only supported on that. But look, it opens up huge.
Refusing to give up, he keeps moving through the cave until he reaches a huge underground chamber. From there, he finally finds a way out and escapes safely. This video comes from Rob Outdoor, a UK-based channel known for solo camping and van life adventures in remote and unusual locations. His videos focus on real, unscripted experiences that show how quickly a peaceful camp can turn uncomfortable. On July 13th, 2024, Rob sets up for the night in a rural woodland car park in the United Kingdom, unaware of what the night has in store.
Camera off the screen, off the windscreen. Because there's a few cars down here already and it's only 6 o'clock. Don't get me wrong, there could be dog walkers. But again, as per last time, we've already seen single male occupancies in the vehicles. At least 2 vehicles with single male occupants. Jesus Christ. I'll show you at some point later on how bad the road is on the way in here. The actual, the drive. And you can't tell me people want to drive down this car park just to walk their dogs. We're in the back now, into stealth mode. We're right up against this sort of, oh god, here we go. I'm going to say right up against this here, so no one can park next to me. That's the drive you come in, and this was only a small car park. So that car there, single male occupant, car next to it, guy just walking his dog, and the car next to that, single male occupant, and then there's a couple of empty cars here, which I assume are dog walkers. So again, what are people doing here? What do people...
As evening sets in, Rob drives down a rough track into a small woodland car park. He quickly notices something unusual. Several vehicles are already parked there, many with only a single man sitting inside. The number of cars and their spacing seems strange for such a quiet rural area. After parking, Rob switches to stealth mode and wonders why so many people are there, doubting they're all out for evening walks or walking their dogs. Even with the uneasy feeling, he decides to stay and starts making dinner inside his van, hoping things will quiet down as night falls.
Box right in front of my van. This place is weird. Bloke in a van's just pulled up. He was parked there. He just drove off. He was parked there. He walked down there, and I was at the back there cleaning my stuff. In fact, I can still see a man there. See him? So that bloke walked down there and then walked behind my van where I was cleaning my stuff. Look at that bloke there, look. Trying to look in the back of my van.
While cleaning up at the back of his van, Rob notices a man walking very close behind him. The man pauses and tries to look inside through the rear doors, lingering just long enough to make the encounter uncomfortable. Without saying a word, he eventually walks away, leaving Rob uneasy about the strange interaction.
A little bit of both, like, Yeah. Right? Yeah, just, just doing a bit of dinner, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
How about yourself? You alright?
Yeah, I've been having a day of them.
Yeah. Much about?
Not today, actually.
No.
Saw a couple, but always say some down to us relative.
Yeah. No, it's nice to do, isn't it? Actually, it's nice to get away, isn't it?
Not long afterward, another man approaches Rob and starts an awkward conversation. Although the man remains polite, his reason for being there feels vague and doesn't fully make sense. After he walks away, Rob can't shake the feeling that someone is still watching him, making the situation even more unsettling.
You can't tell me that's not weird. An Astra estate. Something tells me he'll be back. Something tells me he'll be back later on. But yeah, he was just hovering down here. He was hovering down here. This is where the other guy come. Now when I was trying to show you, I was in the back of the van, he was hovering here trying to look inside my van. And he stopped. And I'm not sure exactly what the camera picked up. I'm not sure what you could hear or not. But he said he'd just been deer hunting. Alright mate, that's what you call it. Well, he's driving off anyway, so. Or open to about there. So you can't exactly go through there. Two blokes come through, walking through here. They were hovering here, stood in this little area, trying to peer into the van. That van's back. He was down here earlier on. Then he went and parked up there.
As night falls, the activity around the car park only increases. More vehicles arrive, while others keep moving around or return after leaving. Some remain parked with their engines running and lights on, while people continue lingering in the same areas. With so much unusual activity, Rob finds it impossible to relax or feel unnoticed inside his van.
Sleep. Since then, 2 cars have been round, papping their horns. The motorhome that was here, he's bottled it and he's gone. Right, so full disclosure, it's now, so is it? It's now 11:30 and I'm not in the same car park. I've moved on. Just getting into bed, just like as I said, you know, I was going to go to bed. A couple of cars turned up. One held its horn on in the main car park for ages, and then he pulled next to the other camper van that was there, held its horn on for ages, and then pulled up next to me, held its horn on for ages. Then it went to move out of the car park, and then as it went to move out of the car park, another car pulled in. So at that point I thought, I'm getting out of here.
Just as Rob is about to go to sleep, the situation gets worse. Several vehicles begin blasting their horns for long periods, and one even pulls up beside his van while the people inside laugh. At that point, Rob feels the behavior is no longer random, but directed at him. Rather than stay, he decides to leave the car park and find another place to spend the night. Looking back the next morning, he says that although nothing physically happened, the constant attention, repeated vehicle movements, and deliberate noise made the area feel increasingly unsafe. He believes leaving was the right decision, proving that even without a confrontation, a situation can still become risky. Work less, enjoy. Life is a channel run by Larry, an outdoor enthusiast who shares slow living and peaceful camping trips, often with his 2 dogs, Mason and Marty. On October 16th, 2024, he set up camp deep in a remote mountain forest south of Flagstaff, Arizona, in an area still recovering from an old wildfire. Although the landscape is slowly growing back, it still shows signs of the fire. During the day, everything feels quiet, peaceful, and isolated. But once night falls, that feeling of safety slowly begins to disappear. While eating, Larry is suddenly startled by a loud, sharp bang coming from the forest. The sound is abrupt and unsettling. When everything goes completely silent afterward, the moment becomes even more disturbing.
There's been times where I'm out here, or not out here, but in the woods, and you just hear something you can't explain, and I don't know, it just gets your anxiety all worked up. Starting to get cold. I had to switch into my sweatshirt. Fire feels good though. I catch myself just sitting here listening. Like part of me just wants it to be a cow or a coyote or something. Like I just want to see something that I could know that it was it, just so I can just drop it. Like I'm trying to sit up. The dogs are fighting.
Larry tries to stay calm and listens carefully, but his instincts tell him something isn't right. When the strange noises return, he makes a risky decision. Instead of staying inside the tent, he steps outside to investigate, believing that in the wilderness, not knowing what's out there can be more dangerous than facing it.
Bye. Hi.
Moments later, Mason and Marty also react, jumping up and barking into the darkness. Their behavior is serious and alert, making Larry even more uneasy. He calmly calls out, hoping another camper will answer, but no one responds. Instead, the same strange clapping sound echoes through the trees again. Shining his flashlight around, he sees nothing but empty forest and darkness. With his dog still on edge and no explanation for the noises, Larry is left wondering whether it was another camper, an animal, or something hidden just beyond the reach of the light. He never finds out, and that uncertainty stays with him long after the night is over. Alex's channel usually features bike trips to abandoned places full of history, bringing viewers along as he explores forgotten locations. This time, he heads to Aztec, New Mexico, a quiet town with decaying buildings, old storefronts, and very little life left. Instead of riding his bike, he travels in his van and plans to spend the night there, but before long, he starts questioning whether staying overnight is a good idea.
It's starting to get dark. It's not totally dark yet. A lot of debris, so we're here, but it's dark inside here, that's for sure. So we're gonna explore it, see what it looks like, see if we detect anything. So this is the big room here. A lot of debris, furniture, that sort of thing.
The town feels almost deserted, but something about it makes Alex uneasy. Nothing dangerous happens, yet the atmosphere feels heavy, as if the place doesn't welcome visitors. After exploring the area, he decides it's best to return to his van, thinking the night is over, but things are only just beginning.
Something woke me up. I think sounded like footsteps. I'm not sure if that's what woke me up. I put on my pants and my shoes just for in case. I was asleep. I got all my windows closed. I got this light here, but I don't know if they can see it. But I suddenly heard footsteps. Something woke me up. I'm not sure what it was.
Back at the van, Alex shows viewers his camping setup, hoping the strange sounds he heard earlier were just his imagination. Despite his uneasy feeling, he decides to stay for the night. Before long, the situation becomes much more tense.
You know I'm armed. I'm opening the door. Who's there?
I don't see anybody.
Anybody there?
Nobody out here.
Hello?
Maybe they went inside that schoolhouse. Okay. It's time for me to go. The sound was coming from this side, from the driver's side.
Later that night, Alex hears sounds outside the van, making it seem like someone is nearby. When he checks, however, no one is there. He believes someone may have approached the van thinking it was empty, then quickly left after realizing someone was inside. Whether it was an attempted theft or someone trying to scare him, he doesn't wait to find out. Choosing caution over confrontation, Alex leaves the area instead of taking any chances. What began as a simple hiking trip took an unexpected turn when the group made a surprising discovery. Curious to see where it led, they gathered their caving gear and climbed down into the sinkhole.
It's kind of looking deep over here. See what I'm seeing? Seems like a lot more water up ahead. Yeah, sure does. Dude, this is a long walk. Oh, that got deep. That sure got deep. Okay, James and Cade, they're heading out. We're gonna continue deeper, try to find this waterfall. Okay, we're in it now. Getting real deep. We're almost out of it though. Ooh. Oh, dude, it's opening up huge. Yeah, dude, that water hit your chest. Bro, it's opening up huge. Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see.
As they make their way through the dark, twisting cave, the group wonders what lies ahead. They hope to find the rumored underground waterfall, but know they could come across something even more mysterious instead.
Oh, wow, look at the ceiling. Is it sketchy? It's so bad. I think that's why Make sure you don't bust your head on it. That looks awesome, man. Check out this awesome flowstone. What the heck? Okay, this is wild.
I think it might be.
Dude.
No way. 280 feet and 45
Dude, the water's just dropping through the floor. Oh, snap! Dude, yeah, that's the pit right in front of me. Oh! Dude, this is wild, dog. All that water coming through. rocking down, you know? I feel kind of sketched out being on this false floor here. This feels wild, like the whole riverbed just kind of, that's what I'm saying, just drop off. Dude, I can see it now. Dude. No, wait, I see nothing right here. Yeah, I see nothing. Dude. Holy crap. Dude. Holy crap, dude. Man, it's just darkness down there. Yeah, you can't see the bottom. It's straight drop right here.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie right now. I am terrified.
I bet you are, man. I'm kind of terrified too.
Good call.
Now I'm getting a little scared. Golly. Here's the big one. This is the big one. Dude, it's pitch black down there. I can't tell if we're in the waterfall or not. Oh, this is terrifying. Oh my gosh. I can't see a thing. Yeah, it's just me and the roof. Oh my god, there's a waterfall. Okay, yeah. I reached the bottom. Oh my gosh. That was so scary.
Are you wet?
Dude, not a drop of water.
Heck yeah, I'm about to get our ripping that down.
Alright, let me get off rope. Alright, I'm whipping out the 75,000 lumen flashlight. Alex is coming down next. Oh, this is crazy.
After exploring deeper into the cave, the group finally reaches the underground waterfall they had been searching for. Satisfied with their discovery, they turn around and begin making their way back to the surface. Black Mass Paranormal is a US-based channel known for solo investigations into strange and unexplained encounters, often deep in the Appalachian region. During one expedition on August 4th, 2025, the investigator hikes far along the Appalachian Trail, searching for signs of unusual activity, including the possibility of people living deep in the wilderness away from society.
We are gonna go up to higher ground and see if we can see something. That print, to me, is pretty interesting because this is it's a pretty rough terrain area. Now there are, in my opinion, Bigfoot in this area. However, we are not going to concentrate on said Bigfoot. Something came sliding down this hill.
While walking through the muddy forest, he notices something unsettling, a small barefoot footprint pressed into the ground. It looks almost like a child's footprint, making it seem completely out of place in such a remote area. The fresh print suggests someone had recently passed through the woods without shoes. But that isn't the only danger waiting for him.
Now we gotta get across this ledge here. See what I mean? This isn't the most. Oh, that's a rattlesnake. God damn. Whoa. Hi. Gotta be careful here. All right, buddy. So, see, what's important is you stay calm.
Suddenly, he comes face to face with an eastern diamondback rattlesnake, one of the most dangerous venomous snakes in North America. The snake is coiled and alert, close enough that one wrong move could be deadly. Instead of panicking, he stays still and slowly backs away, using his outdoor experience to avoid provoking it. The rattlesnake doesn't chase him and appears sluggish, likely because it had recently eaten. After putting enough distance between himself and the snake, he safely leaves the area without any further incident. On December 11th, 2025, Katie, the creator of Katie Roams, prepares for a night of stealth camping in the UK. Her channel focuses on solo van life and quiet outdoor adventures. Parked beside a canal after returning from a trip to Norway, she expects to spend the night sheltering from a winter storm, thinking the worst she'll have to deal with is heavy wind and rain.
I'm back home in the UK after my incredible trip to Norway. However, I have been welcomed home with some very severe weather warnings. Very typical British weather. I've got severe rain, severe winds. The storm, I've just checked, is due to arrive in about half an hour, so I might go have a wander. There's a little canal down there. You make the most out of it. Like, I'm being more of a stealthy park up tonight, but that's the reality of van life. It is what it is. You make the most out of it. Oh, there's a path down there. The clouds look absolutely miserable. The wind is most certainly picking up. I'm surrounded by like a barrier of dark cloud.
As Katie returns from Norway, severe weather warnings are issued for the area, with heavy rain and strong winds expected overnight. Instead of driving elsewhere, she parks in a public spot beside a canal, planning to stay unnoticed until morning. As daylight fades and the wind grows stronger across the open area, the location begins to feel far less comfortable than she had expected.
The angle at which I'm cooking right now is probably not great, but I really don't want to step foot outside the van. It's freezing out there. Norway was cold, but it was dry cold. Dry cold is so much nicer than wet cold. The van is literally shaking. My stove is flying away. I'm being literally blown all over the place. And it's getting cold as well. I might have to bring it in because my flame keeps going out. Got it a bit open, but not a lot. Obviously I need airflow because I've got gas on, but it's howling. Howling out there.
By evening, the storm is in full force. Strong winds rock the van while heavy rain pounds the roof. Inside, Katie sticks to her usual routine, trying to cook dinner, but powerful gusts keep blowing out her gas stove. The damp cold feels even harsher than what she experienced in Norway. Later, she turns the sofa into a bed and tries to get some sleep as the storm continues through the night.
It's about midnight right now, and a group of teenagers have pulled up next to me like a boy racer car. I can hear them around the van. They keep talking about illegal stuff, razzing their cars around and playing like really loud music. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay, from what I can tell, there's about 3 vehicles and I'm fully blocked in.
Sometime after midnight, the atmosphere changed. The sound of the storm was replaced by engines, music, and voices as several cars pulled into the area. The activity continued for hours, keeping Katie awake and leaving her unable to move the van. By morning, the rain was still falling, but the area had cleared, allowing her to leave for her scheduled van maintenance. Many viewers were less concerned about the storm itself and more about the situation she found herself in, alone, surrounded by vehicles, and unable to leave. Nothing serious happened, but it showed how quickly a quiet stealth camping trip can become an uncomfortable experience. The video comes from Hiking with Jenny, a YouTube channel centered on solo backpacking, long-distance hiking, and realistic trail experiences. Rather than exaggerating events, Jenny shares her trips with honest commentary and a focus on what it's really like to camp alone. On January 10th, 2026, she set out on the Foothills Trail in North Carolina, hiking from Whitewater Falls to the Toxaway campsite for another overnight adventure.
And it's, you know, it's like pretty basic. They have like a bun, like a hamburger bun, and in between the bun halves, they had spread, it was like a butter or a cream cheese and your underwear, like folded up on the bun. I imagine you're supposed to remove the underwear and it's supposed to just be more like a hint of flavor. And it's kind of more just like a trendy thing. That's like, oh, this is like the new fad thing to order. So yeah, I would call that a weird dream. I didn't get to the point where you actually eat the sandwich. It was just sort of like served. Somebody else at my table also got one with their own underwear. So I was not the only one to order this.
Jenny hikes along a fairly easy section of the Foothills Trail, crossing shallow gullies and small ditches with only a few minor elevation changes. Aside from carefully stepping over a fallen tree left by a hurricane, the morning goes smoothly. She takes a short break at Bear Paw Creek to eat and mentions having some strange dreams the night before. With the trail quiet, temperatures in the 50s, and a steady but slower than planned pace, she continues, noticing the landscape gradually becoming more challenging ahead.
Now we're talking. That is a honking staircase. Holy cow. Look at that.
After hiking several more miles, Jenny reaches a long, steep staircase built into the trail. Already feeling tired, she knows the climb won't be easy. Instead of rushing, she takes it one step at a time, carefully pacing herself and conserving her energy until she reaches the top.
Oh, scary bridge. Oh. Oh god. Oh wow. Why do they have to be bouncy?
Later, Jenny comes to a narrow suspension bridge. As she steps onto it, the bridge sways beneath her, and the drop below makes the crossing even more intimidating. Laughing nervously, she moves across slowly, keeping her focus on her balance and each careful step.
Tucks away campsite. And the first one was taken, but I was aiming for this one because I've heard it's got a nice view. Picnic table. It looks like some good trees for hanging. This looks great. This will be home for tonight. Alright, here's my hammock set up. Got my tarp up because it is supposed to rain tonight. It's actually already kind of drizzling. And I don't have to make dinner tonight, so I'm basically just gonna do the rest of my chores and hop in there because I am beat. Alright, I'm in my hammock for the night. It feels so good to lay down. Oh my goodness. Oh, my feet were so sore. Got my food hung and got the rest of my chores done. I have 27 miles left of the trail, so the next couple days shouldn't be as bad mileage-wise, but it does look like there's going to be additional elevation gain. And I've positioned myself right before a particularly challenging part of the trail, which I figure I'll get done tomorrow morning when I'm fresh. Yeah, I probably am going to sleep early tonight because I'm just so tired, and it's really peaceful with the water. There is a big group of people that showed up after I had set up. They're kind of loud. Hopefully they'll go to sleep and not be up all night laughing. Anyways, this is the end of day 2. Thank you for watching. Happy trip.
Jenny reaches Toxaway campsite just as a drizzle begins. She sets up her hammock and tarp beside a flowing stream, relieved to finally rest after a long day on the trail. With sore feet and tired muscles, she reflects on the hike, especially the steep staircase and swaying suspension bridge that demanded patience and careful footing. As evening settles in, she thinks about the miles still ahead, but the peaceful surroundings make the effort feel worthwhile. The day ends quietly, showing that determination and steady progress are often the biggest challenges on the trail. The video comes from City Boy, a creator known for sharing immersive solo camping and winter survival adventures in remote locations. On January 11th, 2026, he camps alone in a secluded forest in Japan. Before going to sleep, he leaves his car to walk to a toilet some distance away. The forest is almost completely silent, with only the sound of a nearby river, occasional wildlife, and the crunch of leaves beneath his feet. As he walks deeper into the darkness, the isolation and quiet surroundings create an increasingly tense atmosphere. While walking back through the forest, the camper starts hearing footsteps behind them. At first, They assume it's just wildlife or their imagination, but the sounds keep following and seem to get closer. Feeling uneasy, they resist the urge to look back and instead walk faster until they finally reach the car, where the footsteps suddenly stop. After calming down, they eat some leftover chicken and settle in for the night, with the car providing a sense of safety from the cold and isolation outside. By morning, the temperature has fallen to -9 degrees Celsius, 15.8 degrees Fahrenheit. They warm up the car, cook rice porridge with the remaining food, clean the campsite, pack up the bonfire ashes, and head home. Although nothing happened, the experience shows how quickly a quiet walk through a remote forest can become unsettling when you're alone. The video comes from the Hoggett Project, a camping and bushcraft channel that shares real wilderness adventures, gear testing, and survival experiences. During a camping trip near a remote lakeside area, everything seems normal as the group builds a fire and cooks at their campsite. The calm atmosphere suddenly changes when one of them hears a strange noise coming from the darkness. He says it sounds like someone being chased, instantly turning the quiet night into a tense and unsettling situation.
Washes down here, guaranteed. How's your dog?
I'm having another, I'll tell you that.
A long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, around this specific area, I was going to the bathroom and I heard something crashing around. And this is before all the development happened. I looked outside my window and I saw something at least 8 feet huge. It was bulky. When I went outside and I turned up all the lights, and nothing.
Later that night, a series of loud splashes comes from the lake. The sounds are strong and repeated, making it seem like something is hitting the water with force. Even with all the noise, nothing is visible in the darkness.
That was wild, wherever that was.
Morning. Hard to say what's really happening and what's not. Felt like there was like a dog or a pig or something of that size that crawled underneath me and pushed my body up. I was just imagining they were going for my pack, sniffing that out for food, but I don't know. I have to listen for the audio and see what we got.
As they try to sleep, the tension reaches its highest point. Travis says he feels something under his hammock, pushing his body upward as if a large presence is moving beneath him. Soon after, another loud disturbance comes from the lake, sounding like something grabbed a goose and slammed it against the water with great force. By morning, there are still no clear answers. While some of the noises could have been caused by wildlife, the repeated disturbances and the strange movement beneath the hammock make the experience harder to explain. Nothing is ever clearly seen, but whatever was moving through the area stayed close enough to be heard throughout the night. The video comes from the Hoggett Project, a wilderness exploration channel that focuses on off-grid travel and challenging mountain environments. During a trip through a remote mountain region, he decides to continue beyond the usual route and enters an unfamiliar tunnel along an already isolated road. The area is surrounded by loose ground, steep drop-offs, and old cable structures, making it unsuitable for easy travel. Once he passes through the tunnel, the landscape opens up, but any clear path disappears, leaving him surrounded by rough and unmarked terrain.
Circled all the way around, took the tunnel out the other side, and it took me out to where the elk were. And now I'm just trying to hike up this vantage point to see if it's worth taking the vehicle up here. So yeah, this is a nice little vantage point, but it's loud because of all these wires and no shelter. I'm gonna go that way this time. Okay, let's do it.
Then, the conditions start to change. Dark clouds roll in, the wind picks up, and the temperature begins to drop. Because he is high up in the mountains, there's no shelter from the weather, no trees, no cover, just open ground. At that point, the main danger is no longer how far he has traveled, but how exposed he is to the elements.
I'm out here, I can't see crap. And as you can see, it's a campsite.
At the highest part of the journey, there's no easy way out. With no shelter nearby and visibility getting worse, the situation becomes much more serious. The weather now determines every move he makes. As night arrives, he quickly sets up a basic shelter, but it is only a response to the conditions rather than a proper campsite. Rain soon turns into hail, the noise grows louder, and the temperature keeps falling. Between the cold, constant weather and limited visibility, the night becomes a test of endurance rather than comfort.
For next time, but we're up in the clouds and you can't see anything from all the fog. There is a viewpoint from here that would have been nice, but just can't see anything right now. And so it's almost like it'd be better to be down in the trees.
Morning brings little improvement. Thick fog covers the area, reducing visibility so much that familiar landmarks can no longer be seen. Even the ground he has already crossed becomes difficult to recognize. There is no single event that causes the problem. Instead, a series of challenges slowly builds up, traveling farther than planned, leaving marked routes behind, worsening weather, and fading visibility. Each issue seems manageable on its own, but together, they make the situation much harder to control. By the end, the focus is no longer on exploring, but on safely making his way through an environment that has become increasingly difficult to navigate. The video comes from Van Hike Mike, a UK-based channel focused on wild camping, hiking, and overnight stays in remote locations. The content combines real camping footage with storytelling that emphasizes isolation and uncertainty. During a stay at a secluded woodland roadside spot, the van is parked far from visible traffic or nearby activity. Surrounded by darkness and the natural sounds of the forest, the setting feels quiet and isolated, with nothing unusual happening at first.
What the hell is going on?
As the sounds continue, the camper's reaction begins to change. Instead of treating them as normal background noise, he starts paying closer attention and questioning where they are coming from. The situation shifts from simply listening to the environment to feeling uncertain about what might be outside in the darkness.
What the hell? Another photo.
He starts calling out into the darkness, trying to find out if anyone or anything is nearby. No answer comes back, but speaking into the quiet surroundings changes how the situation feels. Even without any clear response, the area no longer seems empty, leaving him with the impression that something could be out there.
That's what that ticking was. Why the hell is there a clock out here? Whoa. Hell.
The situation reaches its peak when another unexplained sound is heard, including a ticking noise from outside the van. His reaction changes quickly, with concern turning into panic as the sounds seem closer than before. The experience is driven more by uncertainty than by clear evidence. What starts with isolation and strange noises gradually builds into a fear of the unknown. By the end, the unsettling part is not what may be outside, but the fact that he can never confirm whether anything is actually there. The video comes from Dan's Van Life, a US-based van life channel focused on solo adventures in remote nature, real-time encounters, outdoor scenery, and practical van living. It takes place in Colorado, United States.
You can't find any parking spot. This whole parking lot is completely loaded with campers and vans and families and kids running around and riding bikes and riding pit bikes. Like just busy, free campground feeling. I was telling my friend that kind of cool, but it's also kind of lonely.
Dan arrives at a quiet mountain parking area during mud season. The area is much less crowded than usual, with wet conditions, few visitors, and a strong sense of isolation. While the quiet surroundings offer privacy, they also mean there's little help nearby if a problem occurs.
Right after I said that, a bear came right up to the van.
There's a bear outside the van. Oh my God. Cassie has no idea. At what point do I scare him off? Hi, buddy. Nope, Cassie, it's okay. Cassie just now realized something's out there. I'm just gonna honk if he looks like he's gonna put his paws on the van. Oh, Cassie's scared now.
A bear suddenly appears outside the van. Dan reacts immediately by honking the horn to scare it away while keeping his dog safely inside. After a short time, the bear backs off and leaves the area.
I love when the trail you're walking on just turns into a straight up creek. Maybe I'll need hiking boots sooner than later. I'm currently walking through like feet of snow. Does that mean I can title this video Solo Winter Van Life, even though it's like June? I mean, if there's like feet of snow on the ground and it's getting down in the 30s commonly, I'd call that winter. Not only is there getting to be more and more snow on the trail, but the ground is also... Oh, I don't know if I can make the jump. I don't want to slip and fall into the water. That'd be way worse. We did it. I think it's time that we turn around.
Back at the van, he tries to cook a meal, but has to deal with limited propane and power, forcing him to adapt. The trip shows how quickly things can change in a remote area, from a close encounter with a bear to difficult conditions and resource shortages. Nothing becomes a serious problem, but each situation requires quick adjustments, highlighting the importance of staying calm and adaptable during solo van life. The video comes from Catherine Gregory, an outdoor backpacking channel that documents real-time wilderness travel and backcountry camping. During a camping trip in Yellowstone National Park, the group sets up camp in an area known for grizzly bear activity. They understand the risks and discuss them openly, showing that they are prepared for the environment. At this stage, everything is going according to plan, with proper awareness, preparation, and routine, keeping the situation under control.
I have a bison scratching his head right on my picnic picnic table.
He almost hit your little satellite dish.
Yeah. Yikes.
They're in camp. Oh, this could be cool.
Oh my gosh, he's going right to the camp. The other people.
Right by the fire. I was going for the picnic table. He's like, I want to scratch my back on this one too.
Then, an unexpected situation develops when a bison wanders directly into the campsite. Instead of staying at a distance, it moves among the tents and equipment, rubbing against objects and casually roaming through the area. The animal remains close to the campers, their gear, and food, making its movements difficult to predict. With such a large animal nearby, even a sudden step or change in direction could become dangerous. Eventually, the situation settles down, and the trip continues as normal. More wildlife is seen later, but from a safer distance. What makes the encounter memorable is not that anything bad happened, but how quickly it could have. The danger came simply from being too close to a powerful animal that paid no attention to human boundaries. The video comes from The Outdoor Experience, a US-based outdoor exploration channel focused on solo backpacking and wilderness camping. The content highlights realistic first-person experiences with an emphasis on navigation, survival, and adapting to changing conditions. It takes place at Trigger Creek in Florida, United States.
I'm using that. So I'm just about at the creek, and this is why I never hiked out to that camping spot from this side. That is a steep downhill, and this will go all the way down to the creek.
He heads toward Trigger Creek to revisit camping spots he had not seen in 2 years. Along the way, he finds overgrown trails, fallen branches, and dried up sections of the creek that make travel more difficult. After checking several campsites affected by flooding and erosion, he chooses a spot on higher ground and starts setting up for the night.
Fire pit. You can see one of the rocks right there, another one right there, and it is completely covered in sand. And this is mostly like sand. It looks like dirt, but I'm in here and it was not fun. I have a horrible back. I almost left my shoes on and just opened up my sleeping bag all the way because I can use it as a blanket. But I wanted to be able to get inside the sleeping bag and zip it up. So I got my shoes off. It hurt. My lower left back is really bad, so These small tents are kind of hard to get into.
As night falls, the atmosphere changes when coyotes begin howling in the distance. Although they are likely far away, the sounds echo through the quiet forest, making the surroundings feel more isolated and unsettling.
Start raining till later on in the morning, like around 10, 11 a.m. It's 7 a.m. and it's already sprinkling. So I'll probably be getting up pretty soon and start packing up because...
Later, rain arrives earlier than expected, forcing him to pack up quickly and end the trip sooner than planned. The overgrown trails, changing terrain, and sudden weather make the familiar area feel far less predictable than before. Despite the challenges, he packs up and makes it out safely. The video comes from Calbog, a lifestyle and travel channel that documents bus and van life across the country. It takes place in Bend, Oregon, where the focus is on day-to-day life on the road and the challenges that come with it.
We made it to our spot for the night. Do you want to go check it out with me? It is really sketchy getting it. We got in. Pretty sure we'll be able to get out. We're in a really good spot to be stopped. It's like in this little turnaround thing.
Cal and the family arrive at a remote spot for the night. The area still shows signs of a recent fire, with burned ground, damaged vegetation, and scattered debris. Uneven terrain and fallen branches make moving around more difficult. The bus is parked in a secluded position with limited visibility of the surrounding area, providing privacy but making it harder to see what is happening nearby.
Yeah, all the ground's burned.
As they look around, they realize how much of the area was affected by the fire. The ground is heavily burned, leaving the landscape open and exposed. Nothing unusual happens during the night, but the burned terrain, limited access, and reduced visibility make the location feel more isolated than expected. By morning, everything is back to normal, though the setting leaves a lasting impression. The video comes from Born Outside, a UK-based outdoor exploration channel. During a walk through a familiar woodland area, he leaves the main trail and heads into thicker overgrowth. As he moves deeper, visibility decreases and the surroundings become more enclosed, making the area feel less maintained and less frequently used.
Well, look at this. This looks like a kid's camp. What's this here? Oh my God, there's a little lad there. It's like a shrine to him. Well, fair play to whoever's doing it, because it goes down through there. Look, it's bloody bird feeder and everything. Look, there's a...
As he continues exploring, he comes across a ladder, feeding bowls, bird feeders, and other items placed around the area. The discovery changes how the location feels, as the objects appear organized and cared for, suggesting the site is being actively maintained.
A lot. Well, whoever's done this is keeping it tidy. Shut up. So fair play. I'll leave this area now. And if you're, mate, rest in peace. Right. Back out in some light now. Let's keep an eye on the old path there. That was blinding in there. No. I don't think I will camp in there. Wouldn't be right, would it? Not if that's a shrine to somebody. Let whoever built it keep it personal to them. And that's well tidy in there. No mess whatsoever. I can smell a bit of weed in there, mind. But if I come across here a few times while walking the dog and I hear someone, I might go in there and introduce Skia.
He notices that the area is surprisingly clean and well cared for despite being so isolated. There are signs of regular use, including a faint smell, and indications that people visit the site frequently. The unusual part is the contrast between how hidden the location is and how well it is maintained. As he continues exploring, it becomes clear that the area is not abandoned. What starts as a normal woodland walk leads to the discovery of a concealed space that appears to be actively used, making the woodland feel like two separate worlds, one visible from the main paths and another hidden deeper within the trees. The video comes from Caden Ventures, an outdoor adventure channel that documents real-time camping and wilderness trips. During a camping trip near Deer Creek, the group is relaxed and casually spending time around their campsite. Out of curiosity, they decide to test an EMF meter in the open desert. It is not part of a serious investigation, and no one is expecting anything unusual, making the situation feel ordinary and unplanned.
Are you happy that we're here, keeping you company?
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, okay. What was this area known for? Did you used to ski out here?
Oh, yeah. What about before?
Oh, yo.
Did you get stuck?
Wait, okay, so... Ooh, he got stuck out here.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Rio!
They start asking more direct questions instead of speaking randomly, such as whether anyone is there or nearby. The EMF meter continues to react as it does. As the responses seem to match the questions being asked, the group begins to view it as more than a simple coincidence, making the experience feel increasingly like a form of interaction.
And we went hiking.
Yes. Did you get lost when you were hiking?
You really did. Got lost.
Yeah. Did you die hiking?
What?
Yep.
Was it in the winter?
Was it in the summer?
Fall?
Summer.
Were you a rock climber? You were just a hiker.
Just a hiker.
Are you friendly? Yeah,
He's friendly. Yeah. Yeah, he says yes.
Are you a...
Oh my God.
Are you a girl?
He's a guy.
Are you a boy? You're a man? Are you a man? Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, a man. Okay.
As the responses continue, they start forming their own explanation based on the meter's reactions. The idea of a lone hiker lost in the mountains is suggested, and each new response seems to support that possibility. A pattern begins to emerge in their minds. A question is asked, the meter reacts, and that reaction is taken as confirmation. Whether the connection is real or not, the responses appear consistent enough to keep the idea going.
Are you under 50?
Did you die in the 1990s?
The 1980s?
We could go back and back.
70s? 60s? 50s? 40s?
30s?
He's like, oh, the 1800s? Oh, he's old, yo. Are you from California or Arizona? He's from California. So were you a miner in California?
Rio looks scary.
Rio's over there looking like a crazy dog. She looks crazy.
Oh my God, Rio, come here.
Rio, come. Rio, look, we're here.
We're not in our campsite, right? So we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're odd, I don't care. So they're friendly.
Oh, you said as long as you're friendly and it's...
As the conversation continues, the questions become more detailed, focusing on topics such as gender, background, and a possible time period. The group eventually starts considering a much older era, and the meter keeps responding. Because the questions become more specific, the answers seem more significant to those taking part. Later that night, several people hear what sounds like slow, dragging footsteps nearby. Nothing is visible, but the sounds are heard by more than one person. The experience develops through a series of reactions and interpretations, with the meter providing signals while the group decides what those signals might mean. The video comes from Outside the Box, a US-based outdoor channel focused on solo camping, wilderness survival, and gear testing. Set in the Florida Panhandle, the trip highlights the challenges of off-grid camping in cold conditions, with a focus on real-time problem solving and campsite setup.
That's what I've been hearing all night long.
As night falls, he relaxes in his hammock while distant coyote calls echo through the forest. Along with other faint sounds from the woods, the noise keeps him alert.
Just kind of spitting on me, so need to get some coffee in me for sure. It's about 6:30. Get a cup of coffee and climb back in that hammock. Yeah. Oh. Oh man, that's a horrible feeling. All cozy up here. Oh. And I'm out of coffee. You know what that means? I have to get my butt up.
As the night continues, light rain begins falling over the campsite. He has to adjust his setup and protect his gear from getting wet. In the darkness and damp conditions, even routine tasks become more difficult and time-consuming.
There's a little giant green bean of mine, and go boil some water. Well, I suppose. The only problem is with some of these bags.
He gets out of the hammock to tend the fire and boil water, facing the cold and wet conditions directly. With darkness all around and distant sounds coming from the forest, he moves more carefully around the campsite. Despite the challenging weather, his preparation pays off, keeping his gear dry and the camp secure. By morning, the unease fades, replaced by a quiet and relaxing start to the day with coffee by the fire. The video comes from Rickles Outdoors, a wild camping and bushcraft channel that focuses on realistic outdoor adventures and the challenges of camping in tough conditions. During a trip to a remote woodland bunker campsite, heavy rain has already left the area soaked before the camper arrives. The ground is wet, slippery, and difficult to walk on. After meeting up with his companion, who arrived earlier, they check the campsite together. The shelter is simple, with raised beds and a fire area, but the surrounding land has been heavily affected by the rain, making it necessary to move around carefully.
Set up, I'll put my bed in there, but I'll do that later. As you see, it's super slippery. 3 times here I've slipped over on my back. Dodgy as hell. But that is the wild there. See the water drains out down there, making it all boggy and slippery.
While preparing food, they run into another issue. The fire isn't producing enough heat, and even after adding more wood, it still struggles to burn efficiently. As a result, the camper has to move the food closer to the flames to get it cooked properly.
Morning everyone, and have a night's sleep as always. I think I'll go stop doing this for a while. Get me peed off and I'll stop filming anyway. Up most of the night, not his fault, but someone snoring. Got cold, a bit cold, so I thought I'd put a bit more wood on the fire. La-di-da, okay. Got a couple hours sleep, how naughty of me. So it starts to rain on the inside. Pitter-patter on my bloom sleep system. So I moved it to the floor.
As night falls, the discomfort keeps getting worse. The cold, damp conditions and constant disturbances make it nearly impossible to get any proper sleep. Instead of being a relaxing camping trip, the environment becomes tiring and frustrating to deal with.
Where I've done Tom's side soaking wet. That's the closest I could get my stuff to dry out by the fire. Just gonna have a coffee. Excuse the light, but my head torch don't work. Something else. I've got this ration pack thing. It's a porridge with strawberry. Basically, you just put a bit of water inside and...
To make things even harder, his head torch stops working. With limited visibility, wet gear, and worsening weather, even simple tasks become difficult. What started as a straightforward overnight camp gradually turns into a struggle against the conditions. The constant rain, muddy ground, and unreliable shelter wear them down throughout the night. By morning, the campsite is soaked, much of the gear is affected by the damp conditions, and the camper is exhausted. Seeing no sign of improvement, they decide to pack up early and leave. The video comes from Folker's Hairholt, an adventure and wilderness channel focused on solo bush camping and wildlife encounters. In the remote bushland of South Africa, he sets up a hammock camp beneath umbrella thorn trees as the sun begins to set. He strengthens a barrier made of branches, maintains his fires, and keeps an eye on the surrounding area. As darkness approaches, rustling sounds, wind, and movement in the trees become more noticeable, creating a growing sense of caution in the wilderness.
Almost 100%. Yeah, they're going absolutely insane. I heard a fish eagle here. What a beautiful sound, the fish eagle. There are monkeys and baboons going. 100% a predator. 100%.
Soon, the situation becomes more serious when the lion roars echo through the bush, estimated to be only 100 to 150 meters from the campsite. The sounds carry clearly in the darkness, keeping Folkers alert as he stays close to the fire and monitors his surroundings.
Quite close here, probably about 100 meters, 150. I think it's in that drainage line. So I'm gonna go to bed. I think it's time. I think it's about probably 10 o'clock. And yeah, I made 2 fires. The reason is I want this one to die out because it's blowing smoke when it turns right at my hammock, and it's a bit annoying and irritating. So, but I want to keep a fire going, so that's why I made that one.
As the night continues, activity in the surrounding bush increases, with more animal sounds coming from a nearby drainage line. While maintaining 2 fires for warmth and protection, Folkers tries to rest but remains constantly alert, aware that conditions can change quickly in the wilderness.
They ran straight towards me, but I think they moved off now.
I'm gonna get up. I can't sleep anymore. It's about 3 o'clock, and I'm just gonna get this fire going and sit by the fire but to heat up. The warmth of the fire is coming through now. Pretty nice. I was cold the whole night. I don't know what the deal was, but they had buffalo, but they are in the back here now. I can still hear them now and again. I don't know, they seem very uneasy for some reason.
Later, a herd of buffalo passes close to the campsite. Their size and unpredictable movement keep Folkers still and watchful as they move through the darkness. As morning approaches, the sounds of the night begin to change, with bush babies and other wildlife becoming more active. Throughout the night, he stays alert while lions, hippos, and buffalo remain nearby, relying on his experience, observation, and campfires to manage the risks. By dawn, he leaves after a night with very little rest and constant awareness of his surroundings. The video comes from Groovy Films, a UK-based van life and travel vlog channel focused on road trips, van camping, and real-world travel experiences. It follows a journey through several locations on the way to Florida, including Chattanooga, Atlanta, Ocala, and Siesta Key in the United States.
So rainy outside, you can't even see outside. I saw that there was rain on the weather app the other day, but I didn't know that it was a tornado watch. So yeah, really scary. I was up.
Two strangers suddenly appear near the van. They do not approach or speak, and after a brief moment, they leave. The encounter is short, but their proximity is unsettling. In conditions with limited visibility and uncertainty, an unexpected presence like this can be difficult to understand, especially when its intentions are unknown.
Creepy, but they went away, and then it just started pouring rain, so I can't sleep. Woke up at 4, and I have a big day of driving ahead, so yeah, not what I wanted to wake up to. This rain is so heavy, and it's like you can hear the thunder. Then it's still asleep though, so that's good. We're under a tornado watch right now in the van, and it's raining so hard that rain is pouring in through the windows. I put my dirty clothes in the windows, and like I'm using my window covers as a shield to keep the rain from getting on my bed anymore, but my bed is wet and it's so rainy. I mean, I can hardly see outside. So I think it's gonna clear up in the next couple of hours, but I really need to sleep because we gotta be on the road in the morning, and I'm exhausted. I couldn't fall asleep for a while because this parking spot.
Getting enough rest becomes difficult as the storm continues and the earlier encounter remains on their minds. Even when conditions start to improve, the feeling of unease does not fully disappear. What makes the experience memorable is how several challenges happen close together. Severe weather, limited shelter, and an unexpected encounter. Each issue is manageable on its own, but together they make the night far more stressful. By the following day, the journey continues as normal. The video comes from Driven X Adventure, a US-based adventure channel focused on solo exploration of remote and abandoned places. The content combines survival challenges, urban exploration, and overnight stays in isolated locations, filmed from a first-person perspective. It takes place in a desert ghost town in the United States.
How many explorers have come up here in the middle of the night and explore this place? That's the question. So, dummy me, this should be recording, I hope. I wasn't recording on my other one. Gosh darn it. But hopefully you saw my face.
He explores several nearby buildings with broken windows, loose wood, and empty rooms. In such structures, even minor movements can create sounds, and noise often travels in unexpected ways through the open spaces and damaged walls.
White orbs on my camera, and it wasn't. And I dropped my phone from up there down here. It bounced on the rocks and landed over here. Somebody dug that out.
He hears distant knocks and thuds and goes to investigate, but nothing is found. In the quiet desert, sounds can travel far, making it hard to tell exactly where they are coming from or how far away they are when no clear source is visible.
I'll move my chair over, and I'll turn on my fire. I'll get myself something to drink, move my table over, just kind of go towards the front a little bit. Eat my dinner, drink some whiskey, and smoke a cigar. Let me show you the whiskey I brought. So, yes, I have it cold. This is called Georgia Dickel. It's pretty good.
So, I don't know if you can see it.
Later, while sitting by the fire, he hears more noises around the area. The sounds seem to come from a mix of wind, loose objects, and distant movement. With nobody else nearby, each noise becomes more noticeable and difficult to overlook.
But it warms me up. It really warms you up. The stars are out. Pretty damn good. A lot of stars. You know what bothers me is that light. That GoPro light, it has 3 brightnesses. That's the low, then there's the medium and a really high. And the medium and the high don't even work. So
He scans the area with his camera, and the bright moonlight makes the surroundings clearly visible. However, the open landscape only highlights how empty and isolated the area is. Nothing unusual is seen, but the combination of silence, distant sounds, and the inability to identify their source creates a lingering sense of unease. Rather than a specific event, the feeling comes from the isolation and the vast, quiet environment around him. The video comes from Strayed Explorer, a solo paranormal exploration channel that focuses on real-time ghost hunts in remote and isolated locations. During a nighttime investigation in a dense forest, the explorer follows a random location app deeper into the woods. At first, the area seems peaceful, but the mood soon changes. The forest becomes strangely quiet and unsettling. Distant banging sounds can be heard through the trees, before everything suddenly falls silent, making the isolation feel more intense with every step.
Is someone there?
As he calls out into the darkness, he hears footsteps nearby. No one can be seen, but the sounds are close enough to make it clear that something is moving in the area. As the noises continue, the feeling of being watched becomes harder and harder to ignore.
Not really sure what that is. But yeah, it all of a sudden the birds just stopped. It just went deadly silent. I don't know what that banging is. I've done a bit of calling out.
The activity soon becomes more intense. He starts hearing what sounds like breathing or movement coming from just beyond the darkness. Loud bangs and other strange noises follow, making it seem like something is very close by, yet it never comes into view.
Guys, I have no idea what is going on right now. Something's just banged right here. Guys, my hairs are sticking up on end. This place is freaking me out.
At that point, he decides to leave, but the strange activity continues. As he moves away, branches snap behind him, making it sound like something is following. The voice repeats, "I'm watching!" And then he suddenly feels a tug on his backpack. That is enough to make him abandon the investigation and quickly retreat from the area in panic.
I am watching. At me. get out of here as well.
Off.
Give me that torch. Tell you what, we'll do some spirit box on the way out of here. Listen to this again.
Even after reaching a less crowded part of the forest, the strange occurrences continue. Sounds of movement still come from behind him, seeming to stay just out of sight. What started as a routine investigation quickly turns into a stressful experience filled with unexplained noises, voices, equipment reactions, and a brief physical encounter. The unsettling feeling never fades, and as he makes his way out, it still feels as though something is trailing him from a distance. The video comes from Camping with Champion, a US-based wilderness and bushcraft channel focused on solo camping and outdoor survival challenges. At Gunnersville Lake in northern Alabama, Todd attempts to reach a small island using a cheap inflatable raft and a single oar. Almost immediately, strong winds and waves push the raft off course, causing it to spin and making progress difficult.
Spinning. I rearranged my stuff on top of my body now. Ow. My feet are stuck. Okay. Whew. I'm way too big for this, and I have way too much stuff. All right, let's go.
Progress is slow and tiring as he drifts back and forth across the water, constantly trying to stay on course. What should have been a simple crossing quickly turns into a physically demanding challenge.
30 minutes. Every time a boat comes by, I get these big waves. It makes it very hard to paddle. It's already hard enough just using one paddle and my arm. See if I can show you how close we are. I think we're about halfway there. I'll check back in when we get closer. This is taking so much harder than I thought it was gonna be. That's where we started from. So we've came a pretty good distance. All right, the next time I check back, we'll be very close. I'm just gonna put my head down and get this done. We're almost there. We are very close. It's right there. I'm starting to get worried now. The sun is starting to go down and I haven't even got on shore yet. If there's any companies out there that want to send me a boat, I would be very appreciative. This is not the tropical island that I had pictured in my mind. It actually feels pretty creepy out here too, and it's not even dark yet. I think I'm gonna go right over here, maybe under these trees, because it looks a little bit easier to get on land than over this log.
After finally reaching the island, Todd is exhausted and soaked. He quickly unloads his gear and sets up his hammock before dark. The overgrown, uneven terrain makes moving around difficult. As night falls, wildlife noises fill the area, with distant howls, movement in the brush, and fish splashing in the lake. Insects soon become a constant nuisance, making the isolated campsite far less comfortable.
Sounds out here are freaking crazy. As soon as I got quiet and stopped talking, just all kinds of stuff started coming alive. And then 2 giant fish jumped right off the bank. I was gonna bring a fishing pole, but guess why I didn't do it? I forgot it. But I don't even think I'd have had enough room for it. I honestly just turned the camera on. I'd just been sitting here for like 5 minutes and there was just all these sounds happening. And when I'm talking to the camera, it feels like I'm not alone. So I got scared a little bit for a second. Anyways. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but there is something howling. Is it possible for coyotes to be on this island? I'm starting to freak out. I really didn't think there could be, you know, big animals here because I'm out in the middle of the water. So I hope it picked it up on camera, but it was loud for a few minutes. They've quieted down now. I put my pants on and I'm putting my boots on now. I have Thermacell. I sprayed myself with bug spray, but I just don't like having my legs exposed. I wish I would have brought some earplugs for tonight.
As the night continues, insects make conditions even more difficult. Todd gathers firewood and starts a small fire while dealing with the heat and humidity. Simple tasks like cooking and setting up camp become exhausting. From the challenging raft crossing to the insects and constant wildlife activity, each part of the trip brings a new obstacle. Despite the difficulties, he adapts to the situation and completes the solo camp. The video comes from The Abandoned Camper, a solo adventure channel that features overnight camping in unusual and eerie places, often mixed with abandoned exploration. While approaching an abandoned asylum late at night, the explorer carefully makes his way through the area. She frequently looks over his shoulder, clearly feeling uneasy as he gets closer to the building. With darkness all around and no one nearby, even the smallest sounds and movements seem unsettling.
I see a building. I also just heard some voices.
Then something strange catches his attention. Faint voices can be heard nearby, along with what looks like a distant light. Unsure of what he's hearing or seeing, he slows down and moves more carefully as the uneasy feeling continues to grow.
Ran up behind me. Anyways, I was trying to record this building for you. And I was facing it, and something comes running at me from this way. Holy crap, I wish I got that. Okay, that was so freaky. Okay. Well, I guess here's a good place to tell you guys what this place is. So, this right here, like I said, is Ontario's hospital. This is where they would do lobotomies, they would do shock therapy, lots of other sick kind of experiments like that. Which a lot of the...
Already feeling uneasy, he is startled by another sudden noise and quickly reacts. This time, the source turns out to be a large bird, but the unexpected movement only makes the situation feel more tense and unsettling.
Running at me. I've never had that happen before, and just as I thought I found a good spot, I hear a woman screaming. The road is right behind me, so I think maybe it was just like someone in their car screaming, but still. So, while there aren't any cars driving by, this tree and that tree there, I think, are going to be my trees for the night. The spot actually looks pretty good. I am surrounded by trees completely. And when I get it set up, you won't even know that I'm there, probably. Probably. Anyways, there's like some trees surrounding there. Alright, I'm gonna set up the hammock, and I'm just gonna show you guys my finished setup because I don't really want to be a beacon of light in this little forest next to the asylum and with the road right there. Also, you guys don't want to have to deal with the asylum is across the field.
After choosing not to spend the night inside the asylum, he sets up camp in the nearby woods. However, the uneasy feeling remains. At one point, a sound resembling a woman screaming can be heard in the distance, cutting through the otherwise quiet night. Moving away from the asylum does little to ease the tension. What starts as a careful exploration becomes a night filled with unsettling moments and unanswered questions. While some incidents may have simple explanations, the experience leaves a lasting impression, especially the moment when something appeared to charge toward him. The video comes from Road to Peace, Lens on Wheels, a van life channel that documents quiet overnight stops and real-time experiences on the road. It takes place on April 11th, 2026, at a rest area in Iowa, United States.
Where you just need to pause for a second. I didn't think this would matter, but it actually does. This vehicle might be staying the night. I'm not quite sure. Well, I'm just walking around again to get a feel for the area, all the sounds. Want to see who all is here. You know, we have a little bit of wind now. See, there's a few more cars, a few more trucks. Yeah, I still don't know how it's going to go tonight or how I'm going to feel about this tonight. I can remember so many times when I had to actually leave where I was parked. Strange noises, or it was way too loud, or something happened and everybody had to clear out, or the weather was bad. But it's always good to walk around and just learn the area, feel it out.
Before going to sleep, she takes a moment to listen to the surroundings, paying attention to sounds like wind, traffic, and footsteps. After getting a sense of what is normal, the area seems quiet and predictable. With only a few vehicles passing by and light rain beginning to fall, nothing appears out of the ordinary, so she heads back to the van to rest.
Pulled up my door handle. Don't see anybody out there. I don't want to expose myself. See, now I want to leave. Now I'm just too nervous to go back to sleep.
The quiet atmosphere is suddenly interrupted by a sharp metallic sound nearby. It resembles a handle being pulled, making it seem like something or someone may have interacted with a vehicle. She immediately wakes up and looks outside, but finds nothing. With no visible source, the cause remains unknown. She turns on the lights and stays alert, listening for any further activity. Nothing else happens, but the sound is distinct enough to leave her wondering what caused it. The video comes from Bigfoot RC, a UK-based wilderness exploration channel focused on forest trekking, remote camping, and investigating isolated woodland areas for possible Bigfoot-related signs. It takes place in Thetford Forest near the Suffolk-Norfolk border in the United Kingdom.
Some night stuff as well. So, they'll be coming up in several videos. And I've got several to load up as well. But, yeah. So, and it looks like it's going to be a bit boggy.
The group leaves the marked trails and heads deeper into the forest with their survival gear. As they continue, the tree cover becomes denser, visibility decreases, and clear walking paths begin to disappear. Their attention turns to details in the surroundings, such as ground tracks, fallen trees, and signs of disturbance. The journey becomes less about moving through the forest and more about examining what they find along the way.
Listen. Not a sound.
They move into even thicker woodland, where progress becomes slower and more careful. With visibility continuing to decrease, the group regularly scans the area ahead while making their way through the dense terrain. Nothing unusual is confirmed, but the deeper they go, the more difficult the surroundings become to understand and navigate.
Signs there, potential trees down of Bigfoot activity. So, and having a good search. See what we can find. Well, what we found here, trail treaders, it's like opening. There should be some stuff in there. So we're searching for big.
They continue deeper into the forest beyond the clearing, where the terrain becomes rougher and the paths less clear. As the forest grows quieter and visibility decreases, the surroundings become harder to interpret. Nothing unusual is found, but the deeper they go, the more unfamiliar the area feels. By the end, the focus shifts away from searching for something specific and toward how unfamiliar the forest feels, once the usual signs of activity and direction disappear. The video comes from Camping with Sam Bananas, a solo outdoor adventure channel that documents real-time camping trips in remote wilderness areas. During a trip in western Pennsylvania, he heads into a secluded area for another overnight stay. The setting is quiet and isolated, with the focus on exploring and camping in the backcountry, far from busy roads and populated areas.
Really talk too much about is that cars keep driving past the entrance of this campsite. Some of them are kind of hanging around and lingering, and that's something that I noticed people do a lot when you go camping. People like to kind of snoop on you and just kind of see what you're doing. Now maybe this is just my perspective and I might be wrong about this, but I think most of those people are just kind of curious because they like to go camping and just never got around to it, or kind of too nervous to do it, or whatever reason.
The area remains calm at first. Set in a remote mountain campground during winter, there is little activity around him. Later, vehicles begin appearing on the nearby road. At first, it seems ordinary, but several of them slow down, pause for a while, and then continue. Seeing the same behavior happen more than once starts to draw attention. In such an isolated location, repeated actions are much more noticeable than they would be elsewhere.
This guy keeps coming in, pointing his headlights at me, and then backing out. I think there's two cars, too.
One vehicle eventually behaves differently from the others. Instead of driving past, it slowly pulls into the area and stops near the entrance, shining its headlights toward the campsite. After leaving, it returns and repeats the same actions. With no explanation, the repeated behavior begins to feel unusual and raises questions about the driver's intentions. Later, the situation becomes clear when the driver approaches and explains that he was simply looking for a place to stop. What first seemed suspicious turns out to be hesitation and uncertainty. Nothing serious happens, but the lack of information makes the situation feel far more unsettling than it actually is. The video comes from Leon R.F. Poa, an independent channel focused on solo outdoor exploration and off-road riding. While riding through remote woodland near Suwannee, Florida, he casually points out wildlife signs and tracks left by ATVs and dirt bikes. As he travels deeper into the forest, the surroundings become increasingly isolated, with no people or buildings in sight. The ride remains calm until something unexpected suddenly changes the situation.
All down through here. Now, if this were a survival situation, I'd have a with me and just ride right through this kind of stuff. You will pick up grouse, every other kind of crazy stuff. Little birds, big birds. I would dare say there are wild turkeys somewhere around here. Whoa! Whoa! Don't!
A man suddenly appears and confronts him, immediately changing the mood of the ride. The stranger aggressively questions why he is there and demands that he leave. Caught off guard, the explorer calmly explains himself and asks if the land is private, but the man continues insisting that he go. Rather than argue, he backs away and leaves the area. The encounter is brief, but it quickly turns a peaceful ride through the woods into an uncomfortable situation. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.